Today we're doing story time while I make my morning coffee. So today what I'm going to talk about is a little bit of my own health journey. So I don't think I've talked about this a ton, and I think it's something I just want to talk about a little bit more because I think sometimes we see providers on Instagram or we see, people we look up to, and it seems like they have a perfect life and nothing's wrong and everything's all good, but they're actually dealing with things that we don't even know about. And so I want to talk a bit about my journey with my gut health and just overall my body. So I've always been a sensitive sunflower and have always had tummy issues. I'll just leave it at that. And about a year ago, it got to a point where I was like, okay, I kind of want to look into this. Me being so into my health, I think I should probably explore this a little bit more and make sure that I understand what's going on. Because I was already, doing all the things, sleeping well, eating well, working out, getting all my lifts in. But I just felt like I wouldn't recover well. I was just getting to a point where getting through my day was kind of fatiguing. I had worsening gut health issues and all that. So I started off by getting a food sensitivity test, which revealed a few things, cut out those foods. I was told to reintroduce them and nothing happened. I was like, okay, I still can't eat these and I still am not feeling fantastic. And so I then took a little break because I was a little frustrated and felt misguided. Did some research on my own and kind of came to the conclusion that a lot of what I was dealing with lined up perfectly with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos, MCAS, dysautonomia, and then some IBS issues as well. And so I had also quit a job that was stressful for me. It was just a little too much for me emotionally and I think physically at the time too, and chose something that was a little bit better for myself, my nervous system. I was able to kind of create my own schedule and all that. And I was also just kind of working through stress and past trauma, things like that on more of an emotional side, and definitely felt improvements with that, which was super exciting. And I was pretty hyped about that, but still wasn't 100%. And that was a little frustrating to me because I was kind of doing all the things that I knew how to do. I was let down by other providers, didn't really know where to go from there. And I had a trip back in March where I had a huge travel day and I felt absolutely terrible after this travel day. And not just a normal terrible, not just I was kind of feeling a little nauseous or whatever. I was barely able to sit up. I was just not doing well. And I learned more about proper hydration and how I was just drinking a ton of plain water, but I needed to be drinking water with electrolytes and minerals and things like that. This then led me to get a hair mineral analysis test, which gave me a ton of fantastic information. And I learned, certain imbalances that I had. I kind of learned my metabolic type, and I had a little bit more of a predisposition towards sympathetic dominance. And I think that makes so much sense just based on the fact that I was, a gymnast forever. I was kind of always on the go, was always doing stuff for school, never really gave myself a break, and all that kind of stuff. So I learned a lot with that. And then I was also recommended that I do a diet that's a little higher in protein and higher in fat, a little less in carbs, just to kind of balance out my body more on a cellular level. And so I started this protocol and I saw a bunch of great results. So that was super exciting. And I did that a few months ago. And I've been feeling for sure a lot better, a lot less frequent issues, a lot less reactive hypoglycemia, more balanced blood sugar, sleeping overall better and all that. Something else that I found super helpful in my overall healing journey was, I would say maybe a little before I got the hair mineral analysis test, I started going to acupuncture. So shout out Carly, I'm gonna link her below because she's great. And I think again, from a nervous system standpoint, just working on really calming my body down and cultivating safety in my body was super important. I think a lot of times it's easy to overlook more of an emotional connection to our symptoms, but I think that's for sure a really big piece of it. And I think we can also use physical tools as well to stabilize our body while we're also working through more emotional things. I think especially with autoimmune conditions, it's super prevalent. So I would encourage you, if you haven't gone down that road and you do have an autoimmune condition, to check it out, see what feels good for you. I think everyone's journey is so individual that it's hard to say one thing works for everyone because it truly doesn't. But I think there are a lot of common patterns and themes that we run into with certain issues. And I think it can give us good guidance on maybe where to look in our own journeys. So all that to be said, I would encourage you, if you're working with a provider where you don't feel heard, to find someone who hears you. Whether that is an acupuncturist, a PT, a naturopath, a traditional doctor, whoever makes you feel heard and seen is probably one of the most important things for healing, because you'll be able to trust them and really process everything that's going on and get a good opinion. So just wanted to share, that's what I'm going through. My story is certainly not done. I feel better, but I think I could continue to feel better. And I think by kind of working on a lot of these things that I've been working on from more of an emotional nervous system point of view, and more of a physical point of view, I'll continue to get there. So if you'd like a follow-up or maybe my perspective on what it means to have a balanced nervous system, because I know that's a hot topic right now, comment below. Or if you have a similar experience or a similar journey, or you'd like to hear more about my journey, comment below. But thanks so much for watching. Just wanted to share this with you all, and didn't finish making my coffee, but it's almost done. So we'll get there. All right. Have a great day, everyone.